DM073 Gaming is brought to you by Happy Little Hug Factory. If you're looking for pre-orders of the upcoming sets, including singles or booster boxes of previous sets that have come out, you can check the link down below. Happy Little Hug Factory also has a buy list for Force of Will, so you can get rid of those extra cards you have laying around and turn it into new upcoming product. Thanks so much, guys. Check them out and enjoy the video.
Hey there guys, DM073 here, bringing you the spoiler coverage for tonight for Winds of the Ominous Moon, and we're kind of going a little bit weirdly out of order. We're jumping back into Darkness cards, so actually some Darkness Fairy Tales, but first let's go ahead and show off our first card, Black Leaf, another one of these elementals kind of spread throughout the different colors. It is a 1-cost 1/1 elemental that you can banish to give something -4/-4, or you can inheritance it to give a target J/Res -2/-2. To be perfectly honest, this is kind of the one that I like the least so far, but also potentially, in a guild deck, especially if you have things like Leaf Garb that are a 6/6, right? Being able to inheritance this to make it kind of trade into like a 7/7 or something else like that, I could see being relevant, especially considering the fact that it also targets J-Res. So again, more of a side decky kind of situational leaf for its inheritance effect, but it's still pretty interesting that Gil is kind of getting these non-descript effects. I also think that all of these leaves with their free inheritance costs are going to be very cool when you're playing in pre-releases, because you can kind of just splash them into your deck and use them for like spells, essentially, rather than having to use them as creatures. Next up, we have Dark Bokuro, I think is how you pronounce it. It is a 2-drop 0/10 Fairy Tale. It says your opponent plays one more to play chance during your turn. So this is pretty interesting in the simple fact that it is like Sha Wu Jing, only just during your turn and cheaper and has a huge defense. Honestly, kind of really like this card, kind of forcing your opponent to have to be more expensive and kind of protect your plays on your turn. Pretty relevant, and 1,000 defense on a 2-drop is really nothing to stick a stick at. So this is pretty cool. Plus the artwork is really sillily adorable and just pretty interesting. Next up we have Kintaro. This guy is super angry. 2-drop 6/6 Fairy Tale with precision. So that's very interesting that we're having precision on a 2-drop. That hasn't really happened in a long time, I can't remember. And it says when this card enters the field, put a +1/+1 Fairy Tale counter on it for each Fairy Tale and non-Fairy Tale beast you control. So here's the thing. Base-wise, this guy is a 2-drop 7/7 with precision. And here's why. Because he counts as a Fairy Tale, because it doesn't say for each other, it says for each, and he counts. So there you go. Potentially even bigger, if you have things like Dark Bokuro, who's also a Fairy Tale, so that's on the field. Suddenly this guy's a 2-drop 8/8 with precision, which I think is pretty relevant. So I think this is a really nice beater card for Darkness, and I also think that this is definitely going to be a card that's going to see a lot of play, probably in Sealed, and it is a base rare, so that's pretty cool. The full art's going to look awesome, I think, and this I think is going to be a card that in Sealed and Draft is definitely going to be relevant kind of as an early game damage dealer. Next up, we have Kintaro's Partner. So here's a nice little follow-up, but keep in mind that it says non-Fairy Tale Beast, right? But it does still count as Fairy Tale, so Kintaro's Partner will still trigger Kintaro, just not twice. So Kintaro's Partner is a 1-drop 4/3 Fairy Tale Beast. When he enters the field, target J-Res gains -2/-2 until the end of the turn. So this would be an interesting kind of follow-up, right, to Kintaro, right? You have one already on field, you play Kintaro, suddenly you have an 8/8 with precision, play Kintaro's Partner for 1 the next turn, give something, a really heavy hitter at -2/-2, Kintaro swings in and kills it. So pretty interesting kind of stuff. Definitely, back to seeing that kind of stat and egg stuff that Darkness has kind of all been about for a very long time. And I'm really excited to see kind of what this stuff might lead to, especially seeing Fairy Tale support again. Always really glad to see that kind of stuff come back, and it's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens with it. For one, I'm probably going to try to figure out the Fairy Tale of Kintaro now, just for my personal preference. But let me know what you guys think about these spoilers. Whether you think it's relevant, whether you think it's good for Seal or Draft, or where you think it could find a place in current, ruler decks. But until next time, this is DM073 signing off.
Huge thanks to the patrons of the channel. You see their names here on the screen as well as down below in the description. They are what help make this channel run and help me do these awesome projects for you guys. If you feel like joining the channel and getting access to all the cool perks that come with being a patron, click on the P on the screen or the link down below. Thanks so much. See you next time.